And then let's have the knees together. So find your kneeling plank where you have thighs together. It's going to feel a little bit more challenging here than it maybe would if we have knees apart. Spread the fingers wide. Really try to pull your hips up to your ribs and keeping glutes tight, low core engaged. Toes come down first. You can tuck the feet under and then press through the palms to drive the hips back to find a child's pose. So hips might not touch heels today. That's fine. Just belly to thighs. And then with control, think about squeezing your glutes, pressing into the palms, coming back forward, toes lift, and then take it into a push-up. So it's one push-up, toes come down, toes tuck under. Really think about lengthening spine back and moving with control to drive chest or belly towards thighs. Hey, Christian, let me add to the chat all of the details. Yes, really nice control. So you might feel a couple little pops maybe in the spine here, working out some kinks. This is your last 8. And then we'll find that hold in our kneeling plank. So setting up to progress to a full plank. Last one here, last 3, 2, and 1. Walk your knees back slightly because now we're going to progress. Going from this kneeling plank, toes come down, option to just do one leg at a time, or you extend both legs at a time. Think of these almost like lower body up downs. So feet lift, and then we bring toes down, again, one leg or both legs to lift into that full plank. So just alternating. If you're on that single leg or double leg, moving with control. Awesome, Kate. Yes, nice cat. You guys look great. Really keep pressing into those palms, elbows wrapping in. Nice plank, Stephanie. This is your last 15 here. Working to keep your upper body as steady as possible. And then when we lift those hips up, you're still keeping that tuck and that scoop to lift the hips up as opposed to just trying to extend the heels back and letting low belly sink in. Last one, hold your plank in 3, 2, and 1. Hold your plank, regular plank hold here. Always the option to come down to the knees when you need to. Let's just find a down dog to plank now. Last part of this little series. So going from a down dog, hinging back forward to your plank. When you go to your down dog, I want you to think first about keeping heels high to engage through the core. And then when you have hips back in your sort of triangle shape, then we can drive the heels down. So think pike, pressing through the arms, engage through the core to transition the body weight back and forth. This is your last 10. You get to hold in your down dog before we go to a little bit of oblique work. So this is your last couple reps. Nice job. Neck stays long. Try not to pull chin to chest in both moves. Really, a down dog is just like a plank where you just lifted the hips and folded in half. Last one here, down dog, hold in 3, 2, and 1. Hold your down dog here. You can pedal the feet out. Option to keep heels high, knees bent to stretch more through low back, pulling belly to thighs, or stretching through back of legs, you drive heels down towards the floor. Last breath here. Walk the feet in. Just find a little forward fold. One more little stretch through low body. And then take it down to that kneeling position, heading into some oblique work. So we're going to start with a wide mountain climber, single side, and then have one weight nearby because we'll progress to a little side plank series. So just have the weight maybe on the right side of your body. And then let's find that kneeling, or I want you to try that full plank. So try that full plank for me if you can. So going with the left knee, because we're going to work left oblique here. We pull left knee all the way wide. Let me change my view. Pull the left knee all the way wide to the side. And then I want you to squeeze through the glute. Give me a little lift of the knee. Step it back. So you're bringing knee towards elbow. Now squeeze through glute. Just sweep out to the side slightly. It might feel like you're lifting. Maybe it feels more like a sweep, but really trying to keep upper body steady. Again, you rest when you need to. If you're on the knees, what it looks like, very similar. Knee comes in, might have a little bit more range, maybe even a little bit more glute activity on the knees. We've got 20 seconds here, and then we'll move on to some side plank work. So still keeping your hips steady. So we're not rotating from the hips. I want you to feel that movement, like a lift from left glute, glute med, and then a lift from that oblique. Extra challenge, hover their leg the entire time. So you don't even need to tap that left toe down. If you want to keep that left leg hovering, take it back to that 3-point hover, and then pull it in and lift. Last 8, awesome, Christian, nice. Working to keep shoulders and hips as square as possible. Last 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down, nice job, guys. Roll out those wrists if you need to. Bring your weight to your right hand. So weight comes to the right hand. We're gonna start in a side plank. The left palm underneath shoulder, arm goes up. Now with control, hips come down. We come down to left forearm, glue the legs together. Knees are in front, heels are in line with hips, and you're gonna lift from right oblique now. So I'm sort of lifting my heels higher than knees, and I'm scooping and lifting with top oblique. Arm comes up. With control, I come back to the top. So you can always ditch your weight if you need to and just do this body weight, but think about sculpting both obliques, keeping this bottom shoulder strong so that when we lift, we're not doing any of this. No sinking, think length through the shoulders. So working to keep those shoulders in one perfect straight line. That top arm is lifted. And then for this top arm, on this next one, try to keep some space between this shoulder and your ear. So we're not coming here to lift. I want both shoulders long and strong. This is your last 20. And then we're gonna hold at the bottom and pulse out with that leg lift. Now, see if you can keep your legs together to make this more manageable. You just do one leg, or you let them sort of move independently. To make this more challenging, I want you to try to glue them together. So can you keep them together to make it heavier for that top oblique? This is your last few reps, final 4. We hold at the bottom in 3, 2, and 1. So lift up and out of this bottom shoulder. You're sort of in this little modified side plank. See if you can glue those inner thighs together. Give me little pulses. So a little up, little down. This is your last 10. We're gonna go to a weighted opposite shoulder tap. One more little move here. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Nice job, guys. Keep the weight in your right hand. Rotate, face the floor again. Knees go wider for more stability. I want you to see if you can hover this right hand the entire time. So we're just gonna take it to that shoulder tap, extend out to the side. Shoulder tap, extend out to the side. So working to keep your body weight perfectly stable and still as you both take a weight away from you, but then also destabilize by moving it across your body. So hips want to move, everyone looks beautiful, super solid, super strong. Soften through your left elbow for me. And then make sure your left shoulder is rolling down the line of your back. So your left shoulder probably wants to come up to the ear to sort of shy away from that tension. That left arm should get shaky. This is your last 8. Just take that right arm out to the side and hold. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right arm out to the side and hold. This is our last 8 here. We go to mountain climbers, other side. In 3, 2, and 1. Weight comes down, place it on the left side of your body to get ready. Back up to those toes, or option to stay on those knees. We bring right knee in towards right elbow. Little tiny open, or just a little shift out. So again, tighter hips, just think about shifting that shin out, or if you have a little bit more hip flexibility, can you think about engaging through outer glutes to actually lift and open? So think almost like when we do clam side lifts, think that clam opening without throwing the hips though. Got 25 seconds. Again, if you're on your knees, you might even have a little bit better range or a little bit more range in that open. So that is always an option. Knees are gonna be more stable. You have your final 16. You guys are rocking it out. Soften through the elbows for me, shoulders back and down. Keep pressing the floor away. Anytime we're in a plank, pressing through fingertips as well. This is your last 8. We go to our side plank combo. Last couple reps. Can you finish it maybe with that hover? Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll out those wrists if you need to. Heading into your side plank. This time, weight will be in your left hand. So weight in your left hand. Hit your side plank first. So right palm directly underneath the shoulder. Soften through the elbow, spread the fingers wide. That left arm goes up to the ceiling here. Option to bring it in this transition, or maybe you just sweep it. We, with control, come down to the forearm. Again, knees are slightly in front, heels almost in line with hips. Give me that little lift and tap. And then with control, back up to your side plank. So you can move as fluidly as you like. So if once you get the hang of this, if you want to rep it out, that's fine. But really working to keep integrity in the shoulders. So again, not slumping into the shoulders. Think about keeping this top shoulder strong away from the ear, and then bottom shoulder strong away from the ear. You can always ditch the weight, or maybe you just hold the weight here. That's an option as well. You have your final 18. Awesome. And then when we lift up to that side plank, it's all about that bottom oblique. So really lifting hips as high as you can. And then when we come down here, it is all about that top oblique. Think about lifting hips up, lifting feet up again, thighs together, more challenging. A little bit of a modification. All you do is you lift one leg at a time. Last 8, we hold at the bottom, we pulse it out in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold here where legs are lifted again. One leg, both legs, or they can be independent. Try to hug them together. Little tiny pulses. This is your last 8. We go to those shoulder taps. Weight stays in your left hand in 3, 2, and 1. Just roll, face the floor. Second to last move here in this block. Then we head to upper body, low body combo here. So this left arm stays hovering, soften through right elbow, right palm directly beneath the shoulder. We punch to the side, and then with control, tap that right shoulder. So you're finding that bend and extend through the elbow, really working to move with control to keep those hips nice and centered. This is your last 15 seconds, and then you hold left arm out to the side, and then we close it out with one more move. So one more little center plank move before we move on to low body. This is your last 8. I want you to hold arm out to the side in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that left arm out to the side. Bring that left hip slightly forward, right shoulder back and down. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Awesome job, guys. Make your way to standing. And I want you to keep your weight in your right hand. Have your other weight nearby. Have your band nearby. Have a slider nearby. So we're going to change our position a lot. We're going to go from no prop other than the weight to slider and then to band finally. But arm will be working. At any point, you can always ditch the weight or just hold the weight lower than shoulder height if you're feeling fatigue in the shoulder. We're focusing a lot on diagonal work today. Usually we just move in these 2 planes. So forward and to the side. I want you to think diagonal. So moving on this diagonal here. We're going to start one leg position. So I have a tiny little turnout. My body is angled to the right here. Right foot stays to the floor. Right leg is strong. You're not rolling the weight into the ankle. Press through big toe, pinky toe, and heel. It should be steady as a statue. Like if someone tried to push you over on this one leg stance, you could stabilize here. We're going to have elbow, knee bent. Now think about squeezing from outer glute, but also center glute, and extending from right shoulder. Little lift, knee comes in. So it's a spine hinge, belly pulling in tight. Think length. So working on stability here in this bottom leg. This is a tough move. You can always find something to perch on. You can ditch the weight if you need even more balance and just focus on the leg. But again, my right leg is not moving. So even though I'm moving on this diagonal, my knee isn't buckling, it's not wobbling in and out. Really focusing on challenging the right leg by moving these alternative planes and then by adding in the weight, adding in that movement. You have 10 seconds. We're going to reach and hold. So again, softening through right knee, not buckling, but just making sure we're not hyperextended and pushing the hip out so that the weight is in the ligaments. I want this glute and quad doing the work. Last one here. I want you to hold on the out in 3, 2, and 1. Think about making this perfect diagonal line, point through the toes. Pull that left hip slightly forward. So even though we're on a diagonal, we still want the hips square to the direction that we're facing here. Little pulses. So tiny little pulses here. We have 10. You've got one more single leg balance move before we head to slider work. So think about extending through right shoulder away from ear, squeezing through left glute. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to center. Now we're going to move in a different plane here. So same thing, but square your entire body to face me. Same exact leg position. It is long. It is strong. Glutes turned on. Start this time, elbow arm bent. I want you to punch forward. We sweep quarter of the way out to the side, sweep in, then back in. Now the key to not letting your hip flexor take over here is to pull your hips through the ribs, engage through the core, flex through the quad. So that one leg is extended, you are squeezing your quad as opposed to trying to squeeze with the hip. And then core has to be tight. So core tight, spine straight. Again, this time when leg goes out, right leg wants to go with it to the left. We want to keep right leg neutral. We have 12 seconds. So strong, nice cat. Yes, you can also keep that leg bent. That's a great option. So maybe arm extends, but maybe we keep leg bent for a little bit less tension, because sometimes hip flexors are just so tight. Even when we do everything we can to turn them off, we still feel them. So take a bend in the leg if you need to, flex through the foot, flex through the quad. Last one here, open to the side in 3, 2, and 1. Open to the side. Again, keep pressing through that right big toe, because knee wants to go to the left. You keep knee pointing straight here. Last 8, we're gonna grab our slider to ball of left foot in 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out if you need to. Slider to left foot, ball of left foot. Keep your weight in your right hand. Now we're gonna go back to that same diagonal work. So tiny little angle of your body to the right. Everything is turned slightly to the right here. Lift your back heel up. Moving on that same diagonal now. Right arm stays straight. So you're moving left leg out and back. Right arm sweeps out. It's like a first lunge, but on the diagonal. So usually we would be here. I want this leg going straight in that diagonal line out from your right heel. So you might feel this a little bit more in the outer glute. We're still not driving right knee forward. Now we're bending and extending, but knee stays in place over ankle. So still focusing on knee stability. Knee does not drive forward. It does not buckle to the left. Working, hips going back and down. So again, balance is going to be a little bit thrown off as opposed to our usual first lunge. You've got 15 seconds. Killer form, you still have your hinge forward, making your back leg as weightless as possible. We find a hold, last 8. Find your hold in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold it here. Again, your hips maybe need to open slightly. Hold it here, 8 seconds. You're gonna go back to full range. So maybe get a little bit lower. Again, your back heel's so high, body is long. Last 3, 2, and 1, rising all the way up. Shake it out if you need to. Take inventory of that form. Take a little reset. You are back in full range last time. So last time in this full range, you've got 18 seconds. You hold one more time. Yes, awesome, Kat. You can always take that left arm out for balance. I like it. You can have left hand to hip, or just like before, you can always perch hand on something for more balance. But working to keep right knee strong, back leg long. Last rep. Down and hold. Last hold. This time we're going to pulse. In 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold. Hold it here. Give me little pulses. Both of the arms and the legs if you can. Otherwise, just focus on those legs. So hips just go back. 1 up, 1. This is your last 10. We add our band in. We're done with the slider for now. We go to our band. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rise to the top. Grab your band. Don't let your slider or weights go too far. Band goes above the knees. So around the thighs. Option here, you can always have it below the knees, or you can do this without the band. So back to a little bit more balance work. So we're gonna bring our weight back to that right leg, soften through the right knee, make that really strong as a statue. Lamppost leg here. And then I want you to bend into your left leg, going into big hip circles. So squeeze against your band. Notice I'm not hinging forward. You're gonna give me these big circles. So imagine we're in tabletop and you're circling, abducting through left glute, but now you're turning on right glute. So watch for any of this. I want you to keep everything glued still. The only thing that gets to move is your left ball and socket hip joint. You've got 15 seconds. Awesome, Christian. Yes, so stable, everyone. Your hip bones, think about keeping them at one height. So again, we're not coming up here. We're not throwing off the hips. Really think about putting the work in the glute. How can you make that glute work harder so that your hip flexors don't need to? You go the opposite way, almost standing work. Opposite way in 3, 2, and 1. Take it the opposite way. So circling, opposite direction. Working again, keep pressing through right heel, big toe. Lift up the arch of the foot. That's going to help you keep a strong neutral ankle. Ankle has to be strong for knee to stay stable, knee to be strong. This is your last 14 seconds. We take it down to the floor. Band comes off. We close it out with some tabletop work. This is your last rep. Final 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job, guys. Take your band off, tabletop work, and then have your slider nearby. I promise, almost done with this leg side here. Lots of changes, I know, but know that when we have lots of changes, you're not in things for as long. Right forearm down. Actually, let's do left side. Left forearm down, left knee down. Open this right leg up. So now we're back, abducting through the right leg here. Press into that right palm and make sure your hips are open, but you're not falling back to the left here. So you want to press into that right palm, flex through the foot. We flex, kick back, and then pull knee in. So think about opening from the hip. You just have these external rotation kick lifts. Now to make this more challenging, you kick up a little bit higher. So without arching through low back, nice Kate, reach, kick back, but I want you to keep flexing through the foot. So you usually might do this with pointed toe, changing up foot position here, working to keep pressing back and keep lifting. So a little bit of oblique work on the bottom here, lifting up and out of left shoulder. Make sure your foot is not floppy. I want everything to be precise in this movement. You've got 15 seconds. You lift, hold at the back. So work to keep that knee out in front. My foot and my knee when we're out to the side, my foot is not too close to my glute. They're in one straight line. And then I just kick straight back. You have 8. You kick it straight back, hold in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold at the back. Hold it here. Lift leg up a little bit higher. Press deeper into that right palm. Give me little pulses to close it out. Last tabletop move here. Little lift, little lower. We're back in the sliders one more time. Last leg move coming your way. This is your last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Take a little child's pose if you need it. Grab your slider. Slider goes to the ball of your left foot. I'm going to show you from the side here. We start in this low lunge position, chest towards thighs. So think of this like a lunge crunch or a slide back, but you're going to stay at the bottom. So we're not going to rise all the way up. Fingertips tent. Think about keeping right knee directly over ankle. You hover back knee, extend leg, pull knee back in with control, lower down. So it's low lunge, extend back, come back down. I've got my chest so close to my thighs, but I'm not sinking into my front thigh. So it's just hovering really about 1 millimeter above it. So I'm not pressing into it. I've got my neck long, really feeling this in the front quad. Awesome, Christian, yes. So when we lift up and lower back down, watch for the knee pressing too far forward to leverage this movement. Really think about pulling right hip back, left hip forward. Think about squeezing from the glute and of course the quad. This is your last 10. You're just gonna take that leg straight back and hold. Last bit of leg work here on this side, then we head to upper body. You hold in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take the left leg back and hold. So left leg is long and strong. Pull right hip back. Lift your left kneecap. Make sure you're not sinking into one side. Hold it here. Maybe you take hands away from the floor. Last 10. Yes, guys, but try to stay low with your chest to keep the weight over the front leg. Last 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Nice job. Grab your weights. And we're going to actually come up to a standing position. So going into some more shoulder work. It's all about the shoulders today. Going into a little bit of shot put, sword pull work. So your left arm is going to hold in this 90-degree bend. Palm faces up. Right arm here, feet about hip distance apart. Think about letting right shoulder dip slightly forward, starting with sword pull. So right palm towards left knee. Elbow bends, my palm faces the back. And then I rotate from the elbow to bring the palm face forward. So what it looks like in that full version, it's like you're pulling a sword from its sheath, finding flexion through the elbow here to open and rotate. Your wrist is strong. Nice job, guys. Because we've got lighter weights, we're repping it out. You're still focusing on form, but we're not moving as slow. We need higher reps with lower weight. I'm dipping into that little half squat. So full body move. Try not to let chest round forward. You've got a perfectly flat back. We have 10. Always the option to just drop the left arm or drop the weight from left hand, but see if you can get a little bit of activity here through that left side. Last 4. We hold at the top. 3, 2, and 1. Hold at the top. Hold it here. Give me little pulses. So a little dip through the elbow, reach, extend back out. So think about, yes, shake it out when you need to. I know this right arm has already done some work with that leg series. You have 8. We go back to full range, but we're going to keep a straight arm. So we change everything. or excuse me, we keep everything but that elbow flexion in 3, 2, and 1. Find your straight arm. Now, arms stay straight. Same exact spine position, same exact thing happening from the shoulders. Now as you open up, use this as an opportunity to open through chest. Think about wrapping that right shoulder blade into touch. So a little bit more upper back work now. This might be a challenging position depending on shoulder flexibility. So option to bring arm lower. Otherwise, can you take it a little bit higher without letting shoulder lift to the ear? You have 10. We pulse one more time. So one more pulse. Last 5. Open, hold, 3, 2, and 1. Find your open hold, drop through the shoulders. Little pulses last time. One more move here. We're gonna move across the body, adding in a little twist, adding in left arm. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the arm down, shake out the shoulders for a second here. Now we're gonna go across the body. So left arm is like this to start. Right arm goes across the body. As right arm goes out, left arm goes out. So you're moving arms in a different way for this first part. So a little bit of something mentally to focus on. But for this second part, they do the exact same thing. They go out to the side. They're below shoulder height, finding a little bit of twist. So I've got soft knees, athletic stance. And then same thing, I'm still keeping upper back engaged to make sure shoulders are pulling into the midline. Yes, great job. So Stephanie, try to keep your palms facing forward for this one. Yes, so I want a little bit more work through where the delt and the bicep connect. You have your final 10. We hold both arms out. Both arms out. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold both arms out. Palms face slightly forward. Hold it here. Little dips in, little dips out. Give me these little pulses just like you did before, where you've got palms at shoulder height. You have your final 10. We go to legs other side. So we're gonna hit that left side. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Nice job, guys. Right weight down. Have all of your props nearby again. We're gonna do it all over on the left side. So find that left leg strong and steady. So again, squeeze through left glute. We're not here. We're not here. Spine is tall. If someone tried to push you over, you'd be able to stand up, or if someone tried to throw something to you, you can catch it without falling over here. That is how strong that leg needs to be. Core tight. Find a bend to start, and then we're gonna go to our diagonal. So little hinge, again, angle everything slightly to the left. We start, elbow, knee bends, reach, extend, and then when you're ready, add in that little pulse. So adding in that little straight arm, straight leg pulse to squeeze through right glute. But of course, throughout this entire series, I really want most of your focus on the left leg. So that's why if at any point these accessory movements or these layers throw things off too much, ditch them. Go back to that starting point, which is really focusing on this left leg stability. So trying to build strength all around the knee and around the ankles to improve functional movement. So really focusing here on keeping that left ankle straight and your left knee neutral. Last 8. We find our hold in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold. Pull right hip slightly forward, soften through left knee, but it's not buckling. Give me those little pulses. So think about pulling your right hip forward still. You're on this big diagonal. Last 7. Going to our second balance move in 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Now we find that bend again. This time knee in front, angle everything to me. So no more diagonal here. We find our bend to start. We extend out, open away. As right leg goes out, left leg wants to follow. You keep it at center, pull back in. So we open with control. Again, thinking about flexing through the quad. So really try to pull the toes back towards the shin. Yes, and then I see some of you doing it naturally. Take that little turnout. That's a great option. Take a tiny little turnout here. Activate a little bit more weight through inner thigh. Or you keep leg bent the entire time. Try to take some tension out of the shoulders. Try to give the tension to the glutes. So relax the neck, relax the shoulders. You have your final 8. We just hold out to the side. So last bit of standing work, where we go to slider work. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold out to the side. Hold it here. Squeeze through that left glute. Soften through left knee. This is your last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the weight in the left hand. Just bring the slider to the ball of right foot. So slider to the ball of right foot. We find that little angle again. So a little angle to the left here. And again, going back to that diagonal plane. So think about drawing that straight line back to the corner that's behind you here. Hip can open slightly. And we go back to that straight arm lift. So as the leg goes back, arm lifts, straight back, working here to keep all the weight forward. So my knee isn't driving forward. My booty goes back and down. Weight should be in left glute, left hamstring. Really nice. Keep pulling that left hip back, right hip slightly forward. Again, it can open slightly, but making sure we're not moving with our hips fully open to the screen. Last 8, and then we find our first hold. This time it's just a hold to start. Always the option, bring the elbow into a bend if you need to. We hold in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold. Hold it here. You have 10 seconds. So again, keep thinking about squeezing through left glute. Your ankle's still strong. From knee down, it looks just like it did when we were standing. You're back in full. In 3, 2, and 1. All the way to the top, you are back in full range. We go out of this on those pulses. So you have those pulses, and then we hit some band work. Almost done with standing work. See if we can straighten that back like a little bit more. I know floors all have different resistances, but really try to give every ounce of weight you can to that front leg. Last 12 seconds. This time we pulse. See if you can pulse the arm as well. Last 8. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold. Now booty goes back 1 inch and up 1 inch. As you pulse left arm up 1, down 1. This is your last 8. Last pulses, final 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, guys. Rise up. Ditch your weight and slider for right now. Grab your band. Band goes above the thighs. So it can go below, or excuse me, above the knees, on the thighs. It can go below the knees. That's more comfortable. Or again, you can do this without the band as well. So find that super strong, steady left leg. So pull the left kneecap up. Hips pull forward and are square. And then you're finding those rotations. So without letting your left side move. You're opening, pick a direction. Core is tight. Left leg flexed. Press in through the big toe, pinky toe, heel. Try to lift up the arch of the foot. And again, we're not wobbling. Make it smaller if you need to. So depending on your band resistance or just how you're feeling right now, make your circles as small as you need to. This is your last 8. We just go opposite direction. Last 4, switch it up. 3, 2, and 1. Take it the opposite way. So again, the bigger you go, obviously more instability, but remembering that it's about this left leg. Yes, you're squeezing and abducting from that right glute, but never losing form on this left side. Nice cat. Watch for any lean forward. Use something for balance. Maybe arms go out to the side. Whatever you need, this is your last 10. Band comes off. We go down to the floor. Got your tabletop work. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Band comes off. Great job. Take it down to the floor. And you've got your externally rotated tabletop work. So right knee is down, right forearm down. First, start by pressing it through left palm and just open that knee out to the side. Your knee might be here. Your knee might be up at hip height. That's totally fine. I want you to go where you feel the work in your left outer glute, so behind the hip bone, and where you're not throwing your weight fully to the side or to behind you. And then we go to that foot flexed, and we have our kick lift. So think about lifting as you straighten for that maximum glute contraction. Otherwise, maybe you just go straight back. So maybe that rotation, that external rotation is enough for your outer glute to really kick it in. Again, try to flex through the foot, changing our foot position here. Usually we do this pointed. And then watch for any sort of rock back and forth. I want you to stabilize with the upper body. Again, it should feel a little bit like a side plank on that right forearm. So think about lifting through the hips, lifting up and out of the shoulder, and then stabilize with the upper body. Tabletop is a full body move. You guys look fantastic. Last 12, we find our hold. So finding that hold at the top, little pulses before we head to our last move. This is your last 7. Lift, kick, hold. Give me your max lift in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your max lift. Press a little bit deeper into that left palm. Little tiny squeezes, little lifts, little lower. Your foot is parallel. This is your last 10. We grab our slider one final time. Left foot forward, ball of foot to slider. In 3, 2, and 1. So left foot forward, ball of right foot to slider. And then just find your low lunge position to start. So low lunge position to start. 90-90 in those legs. Make sure you have your heel far enough forward so that when you rise up, you're not just pressing through ball of foot. Fingertips to the floor to help support you. Hips are level. We hover back knee, extend with control. Knee comes in, lower back down. So again, I've got my chest resting above my thigh. It's touching it, but I'm not letting my weight sink. So there's a big difference. They can touch, but you're not fully supporting your spine by resting the body weight. Nice, Christian. Yes, really nice, Kate. Neck long, chest open, watching for any sort of rock, just like before. We want to keep the work in that left glute, left quad, pull left hip back, right hip forward. You have your final 14 seconds, and then we just extend the leg hold. This should be burning out the quad especially, so shake it out when you need to, maybe even the calf. This is your last 8. You find your final hold. I'm going to take it to that challenge. See if you can join me in 3, 2, and 1. So find that hover if you can. Maybe one hand lifts, or can you lift both hands? We have 10 seconds. Woo! Much wobblier on this side. Pull left hip back, right hip forward. Lift that right kneecap. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So good, guys. Bring it down, and then rise to the top. Grab your weights. So you've got that arm series. Other side, so close to the finish line here. Right arm to a 90-degree bend. Feet about hip width distance apart. Booty dips to the back. You've got your sword pull left side. Now, most of us, if we're right-handed, left side is naturally just a little bit weaker and has a little bit less mobility. So if you fatigue faster on this side, or if you feel like just the general movement of finding that elbow flexion, the rotation is challenging, that's why, that's okay. So maybe you go lower with the arm, maybe you move a little bit slower, whatever you need to do. Again, spine stays straight, holding my right arm, that 90-degree bend. I'm not rounding or sinking forward. It's a little drive of the booty back. Think half squat. So half squat, elbow bending, yes. You've got 10. We find our hold. Finding that hold out, left shoulder away from the ears though. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold. Hold it here, little bend, little extend. So think about pulsing from shoulder, tricep, bicep, little punch out, little release in. Last 8, straighten the arm. We change up the movement. Arm stays straight this time, but hips, spine, those stay the same. Last 3, 2, and 1. Arm stays straight. This time, think about working your upper back. So again, this one's gonna feel more challenging, especially if you have tighter shoulders or tight lats. Think about wrapping that left shoulder blade into touch. Notice I'm going a lot slower on this one. My left shoulder is my tight shoulder. So take it slower if you need to, and then take it lower. So option for less tension, bring the arm lower than shoulder height. Otherwise, you make that big, big, big diagonal line, but keeping left shoulder away from the ear. Thinking length. Last 10, we hold and pulse one final time. In this move, before we head to that shot put, this is your last 5. Hold 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold. Drop that left shoulder, soften through the knees. Little pulses last time. We're gonna go to that shot put, double arm combo. This is your last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out if you need to. Getting ready to add in that right arm. So we twist from the midsection, keep your hips square, and then both arms go out. So we cross with left arm to the right, shoulder back and down, and then palms face forward as you open both out. So think about making this super shallow W as those arms go out, coming just up to shoulder height or lower. And then when I'm punching, my palm is facing slightly to the back, because if we try to lift and turn, then shoulder lifts. But notice my shoulder actually stays at the same height when I go into that punch across the body move. So think precise movement. Think about extending through the delt as opposed to lifting through it. This is your last 12. And then we open hold. So we're gonna find that open hold. Both arms go out. Again, you can rep it out for this one. A little bit more neutral shoulder position. If you can maintain that precise movement, rep it out. Last 4. Arms go wide. 3, 2, and 1. Hold the arms wide. Hold it here. Shake it out. Drop the weights if you need to. Little pulses. So finding that little pulse, little bend, little extend. We've got one thing left to do. This is your last 8. Final 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Nice job, guys. Hang on to your weights if you can. Make your way down to the floor. Last move of class, seated crunch. So seated crunch combo. We're gonna add in some punches at the bottom. So I want you to start heels to your sliders. Option to put a pillow or something at your low back for support going into that C curve. So really think about, even when you're at the top, you're probably contracting hip flexors. Try to pull your sacrum down, scoop through low belly. See how much you can lengthen your hip flexors. Try to take the crease out of your pants to give the weight to the core. Now we lower down, legs go out as you roll your low back down. My chest stays neutral and lifted though. Punch right, punch left, with control, come to the top. Now when we go to those punches, I want you to alternate each time. And then your goal in the punches is to not twist. Your body naturally wants to twist with that punch. You stay centered. So think about keeping body weight center to kick in those obliques a little bit more. Again, if you've got your pillow or your ball, it's gonna limit your range of motion. But if you've got the stretch in the low back and can maintain control, you can come as low as you'd like with that low back, maybe even sacrum, low back, pressing into the floor here, but making sure your chest stays pulling forward so that we keep the weight in the core, not low back. This is your last 15. We're gonna hold at the bottom and take it into some punches. And then we go into our last hold, our last bit of isometrics. You find the hold at the bottom in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find your hold at the bottom. Knees are softly bent. Punch it out. 10 seconds. I want you to bring the arms along by your side. Lower all the way down. Low boat hollow hold in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Give yourself a little bit more space if you need it. Lower the low back down. Shoulders stay lifted. Arms on by your side. Palms face up. Now, can you hover the legs? Inner thighs squeeze together. If not, just hold legs down. You're still going to get core work. But can you find this hollow hold? You're holding your low back, pressing it down, back touching the floor, shoulders lifted. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So good, guys. Lower legs down. Lie down. Hug right knee in towards right shoulder. Quick cool down. Take a little rock back and forth, moving from the hip joint. Bringing knee towards midline, back out again. And then go ahead, find your figure 4 on the same side. So option to just have right ankle to left thigh, left foot to the floor, or for a deeper stretch, pull the knee in towards the chest, left knee into the chest, interlace the hands behind left thigh. Same option. Maybe you take a little wiggle back and forth or find some circles through those hips, massaging through low back and hips, but I just want you to make sure you don't have any tension in the right knee. So right foot flexed. Keep everything connected and just let your legs fall over to the left. Feeling a stretch deeper into the hip. Right arm can go out to the side, so maybe feeling some opening across chest. You've got chest at square, but hips have this tiny little twist. Feet or legs may not even touch the floor. That's okay. Maybe you prop up on your left foot. Maybe it feels like a figure 4, just a little bit dipped over to the side. Slowly release. Extend both legs. Give them a little shake. Left knee comes in towards left shoulder. And then find your little sway, or I don't know what to call this. A little hinge back and forth here. So pulling left knee in towards the midline. And then opening it back up, just massaging through the ball and socket joint. From here, bringing right foot to the floor, option to keep it on the floor, left ankle to right thigh, figure 4. Again, this might be enough for you, or bring the thigh in towards the chest, interlace the hands behind right thigh, flex through left foot. option to just find some little circles or just a little wiggle side to side. If that helps you get deeper into the stretch and massages the low back, just make sure there's no tension in the left knee. Last breath here, slowly. Again, maybe right foot comes down and maybe you only come about halfway. Maybe you're just really dipping over a little bit, or can you get everything to touch the floor, but legs still look exactly the same? Got those bends in both legs, ankles still connected to thigh, arms can go out, upper body at square, low body in that slight twist. One more breath here. Roll back through center, legs go long, arms go up. Find a roll up to a forward fold to close it out. So roll your body up, reach for the toes, folding belly towards tops of thighs. Feet can be flexed. If you have like a strap or even your resistance band and you want to bring them around your feet, that might help you reach a little bit farther or give you more support to get into the movement. Try to pull your pinky toes towards you. Press your big toes away to feel a deeper stretch in the outside of the calves. One more breath here. Slowly release, come to cross-legged, closing it out. 2 final breaths. Big inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, twist to the right. Dropping the shoulders. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist left. Again, dropping shoulders, gazing behind you. Last big inhale, arms sweep up, and then exhale, push it all out. Big shoulder roll up, back, down, and around. Awesome, awesome work, guys. So starting this week, I am taking over this time slot, so I'll be here every Wednesday with you. And then starting next week, these go to 30-minute format. So all of the weekday morning classes will go to 30 minutes, so 8 to 8:30.